What up, guys? Welcome to Rum and Reviews number 7, and continue watching to find out how this He-Man VHS could be yours.
A little less conversation, a little more action, please. All this aggravation ain't satisfaction in me. A little more fight, a little less fun, a little less fight, a little more.
I'm going to get into the books here right away. Some exciting stuff this week. I thought I was going to have a light week because I had like 8 books last week, but I got hammered here. But mostly good stuff. All good stuff. I'll get into why I wasn't super pumped on a couple of them. What are you going to start with here? I'm going to start with Superman Unchained. Now, I heard this is only going to 9 issues, so that's like 9 issues is, I guess, a short story arc for Scott Snyder. I have been really enjoying this story. The whole way through, it's been great. It really encapsulates what Superman's kind of about, I think, and has some amazing visuals. You know, full-page art can be really great, but sometimes it can be kind of a waste of a page, I find, if it's not done really well. And Jim Lee's one of these guys who you really get your money's worth when it comes to full-page art or full 2-page spreads or whatever. They always look so good. Like he has this beautiful attention to detail. His characters are always just like, look at that, man. Like, that's what Jim Lee's all about. That's what you're paying your money for. This story's been pretty cool. Every nuclear bomb on the Earth gets launched. Superman knows it all. We finally have the showdown with Wraith, who I think has been a really cool character. Interesting thing, if you understand Superman history, is Superman originally was not Mr. American Boy Scout boy. He was smashing cars and trains, and he sort of was a symbol of humanity being stronger than sort of industrialization at the time. And he didn't necessarily stand up for where America was going. He was actually kind of anti-America in that sense. And in this, you sort of have Wraith, who's really aligned with the American way of life, and he's the American soldier boy who does what he's told and is interested in protecting their values, where we see Superman stepping up, and he's more interested in everybody in the world. So really great story so far. I've really been enjoying it. I like Snyder. I love Lee. So definitely worth the pickup. One of those books, $3.99 book that I have absolutely no problem spending $3.99 on. 5 Ghosts, number 10. This is the first one I picked up. I've heard a lot of good things about this series, and it sounded like something I'd be interested in. It was going to be ongoing, and it's $2.99, so I figured I'd pick it up. I was really disappointed, to be honest. And to give it credit, I'm jumping in at a totally random spot. Like, this is part 4 of this arc. So, guys, if you haven't read this, it's not the issue to pick up on. I just had no idea what the fuck was going on the whole time. I got the idea of what the story is about, but the main character isn't even really in this story hardly. There's a whole bunch of random characters coming together who I have no idea who they are and what's happening, which, I'm not even upset about, because I get really annoyed when like actors and characters are constantly using descriptive dialogue to remind you of previous parts of the story. I find that takes me out of the story quite a bit, and it bothers me. So I'm happy that they don't do that in this series. What I do really enjoy in a lot of books is when they have the first page as a recap page. I really like that. Like, Mark Waid does that in almost all his stories. Deadpool does it in every issue. A lot of these books, I think, especially if you're going to have a longer story arc, would be nice to have a quick little flash of what's happened, where we're at, what's going on, so you can jump in and get out. I would love to see that in every book, really. Like, you have a letters page in every book. Do you really need a letters page in every book? I don't think so. I'd much rather have a recap page than a letters page. That's me. But 5 Ghosts, it was okay. It seemed kind of interesting. I liked where it was. I kind of got this, figured out what it is now, that it's this guy who has the spirit of these literary ghosts like Sherlock Holmes and Dracula and stuff, and it seems like there's other people like him. So I don't know if that's been in the book so far, but so the girl in there had the spirit of Sinbad in her, and she was having a sweet fight, so that was kind of cool. Daredevil, speaking of Mark Waid, Daredevil number 1 in San Fran. So moved on. I was gonna drop this because I was annoyed it was going up to $3.99, but I kind of am. I'm at this place where I'm thinking if a book entertains me that much and I've really enjoyed it, then and it's proven itself, then I'm okay paying $3.99. I think maybe a good strategy for some of these books would be start them all out at $10.99 for the first 10 or 12 issues. I meant $2.99, not $10.99, just for the first year. And if it's that good and if it's going to keep going, then you can bump up the price because it's got to sort of earn that right to be $3.99. And I think Daredevil's done that. I came on a little late, so I see why a lot of people would be dropping it because 30, 40 issues, whatever they're at, that 35, that's a pretty significant run. So I could see why people might be kind of done with Wade's run and not want to keep reading. But I kind of came on late, and I'm still really enjoying it. And this one doesn't disappoint at all. The Daredevil show coming out, every issue of this, I'm like, wow, this should make for great television if that was on TV. The situations that he gets into and how he solves his problems and what's going on. It's just really interesting stuff. I love how they use all his radar sense and how he uses all 5 super senses, or 4 super senses, I guess, to his advantage in all these different ways. Really enjoying it. Seems like a good little start to the story arc, set up new characters. Interesting thing with Foggy Nelson where he seems to think he's dead, where Foggy's like, I'm not dead, I'm just still have cancer or whatever. So see where that's going to go, but going to keep picking that one up. Rocket Girl. This is the Image title that not a lot of people talk about that I've seen on YouTube, but it's a great, great book, guys. I've really been enjoying it. It's really fun and fast and bright and colorful and beautiful art. Really beautiful dynamic art. What's her name? Amy Reeder. Just great job on this title. It's such a blast of a comic. Like, it's so fun. I get it. It's Rocket Girl. It's a blast of a comic. Just a lot of fun. Definitely worth reading, guys. It's a $2.99 book. No, $3.50. It's a $3.50 book, but this is above par, guys. This is a really good book. Girls, if any girls are watching these reviews, good, strong, positive female character who's not totally sexualized. It's nice to see. So I think a lot of girls would like this, but guys too, come on. Like, you can enjoy a female character once in a while if she's really good, and she's a lot of fun. So basically it's a time travel type book. She comes back in time to stop this machine that's been built to help set up the future that they have, where this corporation has a lot of control. And she is part of the teen police force. They've created this teen police force because nobody trusts adults. So they stay cops until they're finish their teens, and then they grow up and they go work for this big company or whatever. So you have a couple cops in the future. You're sort of seeing what's happening from their side. You have her in the past, in 1980s, at the inception of this company, as nobody knows who she is or where she's coming from. She's trying to sort of solve this mystery of who this company is, why they're so powerful, and maybe stop them from having so much control. But just a beautiful book. Mystery, action, adventure type book. Really good. Superior's Foes of SpiderMan for my last book here. This was a double dose. Yeah, because I had this last week. So this one, not written by Nick Spencer. This is more of an anthology. So basically you have the 3 heroes who we haven't seen for a couple, or villains, sorry. We haven't seen: the Shocker, the Beetle, and Overdrive. They've been kind of missing the last couple issues, so they are at a bar and they're kind of telling old stories about when they pulled one over a hero or whatever, and they're all kind of hilarious stories about how they barely, almost, sort of ran over a hero. There's a great joke about venereal disease in here. So there are 3 different little mini stories written by different artists or writers and drawn by different artists. So good little book. It might be a good jumping on point, guys, because I love this story. I can't recommend it enough. Superior Foes of Spider-Man. Spider-Man, despite being on the cover, is not in this issue and hasn't been in this entire series. So it's not about Spider-Man. It's about the dumb villains who are now calling themselves the Sinister Six. It's very funny. It's very silly. So if you're into that kind of stuff, it's definitely worth a read. Now, I promised you guys the potential winning of this He-Man VHS. Now, I might actually upgrade this prize if enough people get involved with this, but what I wanted to do was show off my bracket. So I don't know if any of you guys are NCAA fans. I'm not really a huge NCAA fan. I love basketball. I don't watch a lot of basketball. I used to play basketball. I love it. I love the sport. But March Madness is fun when you can get into it because it's just such a random crapshoot of a tournament, and it's a lot of fun to watch. It's great basketball. It's great watching the upsets. These guys who play this game really love it, are really passionate about it. They're not in it for the money. They're not making anything. They just want to win and be the best, and it's single game knockout. It's a blast. So I'm making up a bracket, and I don't know if any of you guys are fans, but I'd love to go head to head with some of you guys on your brackets. So I'm going to post it up here and show you an image of it, probably as I'm talking right now. And you can see where my bracket's at, and I would love if you guys are interested, make a video posting your own bracket, and we'll compare as we go through the tournament. So the tournament officially starts tomorrow, and it should be a blast, guys. So yeah, check mine out. If you guys are interested, let me know, and I will send you probably a comic or something if you beat me. If I get a whole bunch of people going on, we'll find out some other plan. I emailed a bunch of you guys. I don't know how many of you are actually interested in it, but it's a lot of fun, and in having a bracket built allows you to sort of watch the games that have teams to root for and get into the tournament a little more. You can look up on Google the NCAA 2014 bracket, and it'll come up with a PDF file, and you can print it off and just fill it up. I edited mine here on the computer, but you can fill it out by hand and challenge me. So basically how I do it is I do 36 points or 32 points per round. So each one of these games will be worth 1 point on each side. And then the second round will be worth 2 points, and the third round will be 4 points. So basically each round, and then the champion, if you call the champion, that's worth 32 points in its own. So each round gets more, each game gets more valuable as the rounds go on. So if you screw up a couple of the early ones, it's fine, and you can call some upsets and stuff. But yeah, there's lots of info online. If you guys just want random tips and bracket help, go look online. And just guess if you can't. Like, all the teams are ranked, so you can see number 1 seeds will play 16 seeds. Number 1s are probably going to win all those games. So, and check it out. Love to get into this with you guys if you're into it. If not, that's okay. I got friends doing it at home anyway, so don't feel pressure. I'd love to have you guys in it, and I'll give out some sweet prizes if we do it and you guys can beat me. All right, guys, take care. Peace.
Less conversation, a little more